Come in.
Hey,
Doc.
how's it going?
Not bad. How you doing?
Alright.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm alright. Staying busy,
Cool.
per usual.
Nice.
Kids on spring break, so
Right.
even though the weather's been terrible.
Yeah.
How about you? How you been doing?
Good. Today is exactly 1 year since I had my
Is
first
it?
surgery. Yeah.
Doesn't seem that long ago.
I know, right? It's crazy.
Yeah. I didn't even look. Well, congrats on your year anniversary.
Yeah, right?
Sounds like you talked to a couple people that I had that were wondering about DBS, so maybe one.
I tried, but I don't think they reached back out. I went to Arizona last weekend
Yeah.
for a patient ambassador
Oh,
event.
through Boston? Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fun.
Just like a speaker panel kind of thing?
Yeah, with a neurosurgeon out there at Mayo Clinic.
Oh, I don't know the one. I know the one guy in Barrow that does a lot, but I don't know who the one in Mayo is.
Dr. Parker, Jonathan Parker.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I think those are fun things to do.
Yeah.
Spreading the word.
Exactly.
That's cool. They fly you out and pay for your hotel and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, why
Yeah.
not then?
yeah, right?
Yeah.
Chance to get away and
You're
a little
like,
vacation.
yeah, Arizona, I'll take it.
Yeah, heck yeah, it was beautiful out there, 80 degrees. Rental car with the sunroof, you know?
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it was good.
Headquarters are California.
Yeah.
The speech sounds a little off.
Still a little bit.
Not bad, but you can hear it. Is it still just the left hand or?
A little bit. Didn't like the fingers. If I'm holding a cord a certain way, and then just a tiny bit in that posture,
Yeah.
and then a little bit in the writing fingers, and that's really it.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're kind of settling out with all this.
Yeah, for sure.
It's gonna check the impedance soon on this, so prepare yourself.
Brace for impact.
Yeah. Charging okay?
Hmm? Yeah, once a week.
Yeah, good.
There it is.
One MA keeps asking about you that was over in Oakbrook, and I'm like, no, he's seen me a Copley now.
What's her name?
Veronica, the one
Yeah.
with the glasses.
Yeah.
Lovingly refers to as Tiny Tim. Probably not to you.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. April. Yeah. Jeez, I wouldn't think it was a year yet.
Yeah.
Time flies, huh?
Yeah, it sure does.
Anything else new? Staying healthy otherwise?
Yeah, pretty much.
I asked if you bumped him up.
What's that?
Have you bumped him up?
Mm.
You're always boys, getting to the top range.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the higher you go, you're gonna get a little bit of that speech.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't get any trouble swallowing or anything, do you?
Nah, I mean, once in a great while. But
yeah, it's usually just more like muscle kind of fatigue a little, and like if you're more tired and harder to get out.
absolutely, yeah. Yeah, when I was in Arizona, I never drink coffee.
Yeah.
And I had decaf, which has a little bit of caffeine in it. And when I showed, because it was probably like 20 or 30 patients, prospective patients that were thinking about DBS,
Yeah.
and I turned my stimulation off, and I was like insanely shaky. And I told them like I had caffeine, and I usually don't.
Right.
It was like, holy cow.
For dramatic effect.
Yeah, right? But it's crazy. I mean, it didn't, with the DBS on it,
Yeah.
it was fine.
I ask people about caffeine all the time, and usually people don't notice much, but it usually will. You know, the more you drink, get a little more shaky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most people don't notice much difference, but some clearly do, where they're like, no, I cannot drink caffeine at all.
Yeah, that's why I cut it out.
Yeah.
Because I had a headache the next day too. It's crazy. It's that caffeine, man.
Yeah.
It's no joke.
It's funny because it's one of those things that can help with headaches or cause headaches, and could do both.
Yeah. Yep.
If I don't drink enough caffeine, I get a headache.
Sure.
Every time.
Yeah.
And I know exactly what it feels like, and I go, shoot, I didn't drink enough caffeine today.
You drink coffee?
Yeah. Yeah, that all. Never in med school, really, I started drinking it because I just needed to. Now there's no going back.
Yeah, exactly. Kidding.
Well, yeah, hold that thing in that position. Yeah, that's not much either, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's really good.
Good.
It's just so subtle.
Well, maybe I'll just give you a little more range so you can kind of see, but I think you're at the point where, you might be getting to it. You can bump up a little more, and then you might get a little more speech issues.
Sure.
You got kind of nauseous on that one side too.
Yeah, I forgot.
I forget which side now. Left brain for right body. You got some nausea. Ooh, actually I wrote both sides last time. You got nauseous when it went high enough. Third speech nausea. Yeah, try bumping it up a little, see. Right hand.
Right.
It's 11:4.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. I just feel that you're doing it. Feels weird.
It's 11:6.
So I settle
Go
in.
back down.
Now
here.
it's feeling. Oh, okay.
Put one back down. Let's see the other side.
tell you're doing it.
It gives you a deep
Yeah.
voice now.
Ha! I'm very white. Yeah, I'm feeling it now.
That's 11.5. You were at 10.8.
Yeah, I can feel I felt my pancreas twitching or something in there. I know it's not my pancreas, it's a muscle. No, it wasn't nausea. No. It's just, when you were doing the right side, my muscle in my calf started twitching.
Okay. Yeah, you can get some pulling. Usually it'd be more hand-mouth, but could be leg. Yeah, I think I would just do that. I'll give you a little bit more range and that's it. But
Well, yeah, what am I at on the right side?
voice. For the right hand it's at 11. Left side is 10.8.
So you bumped it up a tiny bit and they gave me a range?
I bumped it up till you got side effects and I gave that as the top end of the range now. And I put it back to where they were.
Gotcha.
So you got some room to go up.
What did you give me? What was that before? Or you didn't?
You were at the top of the range now. You hit the max.
Like, no, I meant like coming in, what was I at?
Yeah, this. I didn't change it.
Oh, you didn't
put it
change
up
that
and
at
I
all.
put it back down. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so
But
you're only giving me a range.
Right.
Sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can go up on these other settings, but I think they would definitely tip you into more side effects.
So there's on the lead, there's like 4 different things that can. What do you call them?
Yeah. So like this is the schematic, the 4 leads in the brain. These top 2 are just rings, but these are divided into thirds. Right, so like I'm only using the back 2 on this one, that's why it pushes out that way.
Gotcha.
So right, those are the ones you can kind of shift.
And this is just.
Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of yours is sitting at the bottom.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you activate anything up here, it
Left side.
really wouldn't.
Tend to get more side effects because the higher you go, this whole red structure is that where you get more pulling. So when you're lower, you're kind of hitting this, but not too much in there. As you go higher, you get a little closer.
And that purple part is kind of in the area.
Yep. These 2 things are where you want. I mean, this is the thalamus. This pink part. This purple thing is this other area that
Essential
should help too.
intermediate nucleus. VIM, is that what they
Yeah.
do? And then, what is all that red stuff?
So that's the internal capsule. That's where a lot of the pathways for like motor that run down through the brain, down near the thalamus. So that's when if you pull that up, that's where you're getting this kind of pulling and tightness and stuff from.
Gotcha. And that's part of the thalamus too, or no?
It's right outside of it. Yeah.
What's it called? Yeah.
Internal capsule.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got a lot of things packed into a real small spot.
Sure.
So you're like, we're going there, but not outside there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is thalamus? That's not like the primitive brain, right? That's more like the cerebellum.
No, when they
medulla.
talk about that thing, they're talking more about like brain stem because it has like the basic functions of breathing and heart rate and that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And like a lot of like other animals will have the brain stem, but not the cortex that's developed quite as much. So
Intriguing.
no, the thalamus has got a lot of. It's like a big like relay network. So all these things are cortex of the brain coming through, going down through the spinal cord. A lot of it runs into the thalamus in these little subsections. So
Wow.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we're in the right spot. It's just a matter of up again. See what
Yeah, I mean, I think this is good. I mean, I could always come up with more configurations, but
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like I
Based
said,
on-
I always kind of get in my head like I want to eliminate it, but I'm like, it's probably not very realistic.
Yeah.
Unless
I mean,
you're gonna be like, you know,
yeah.
maybe no tremor then, but
Your voice, yeah.
right.
Have you ever gotten it to where like a patient is like 100% no tremor? Or no, right?
Usually it's a scenario where people go, it's good. But if I'm out and I'm anxious or I'm doing a little bit of this or I'm a little more tired, it'll come on a little. It's really
Gotcha.
not bad, but it's like, yeah, you still get a little that breaks through.
Gotcha. But I'm pretty dialed in. I'm like extreme.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
It's pretty lot of amplitude.
Yeah.
Maybe compared to someone else that doesn't have to do the fine motor.
Yeah. Well, in your settings, because I have one other setting lower, like if you talk to anyone else and you told them what you're set at, they would be like, that's crazy. But it's because I put another thing lower.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Though I had a guy just the other day, and I saw him like a year or so ago, and it was still the craziest story. They put in he had one of the first versions of these batteries put in, I'm gonna go down 20 some years ago or something, he said. When they did the surgery, if you do a lot of like penetrations, you know, they put in the thing to measure and make sure you're in the right spot.
Mm.
He said after the surgery, his like arm got weak and like he had trouble speaking. He had to go to rehab. So I think in the act of the surgery, they damaged that part of the brain. So
Whoa.
like, which is what you used to do in the past. They used to open up, go in, just heat it up, make a hole, take it out
Yeah.
before the DBS.
Yeah.
So anyway, this guy's got a battery that's been in for 20 years. He's never turned it on because he's never had a tremor come back.
Holy cow.
So he's got this battery that's never been on,
Whoa.
and it's like just sits in his chest.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's the longest I've ever heard. Usually you put the thing in, people might have a couple weeks or months at most where it's like, all right, my tremor's pretty good.
So his honeymoon phase, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, I think they just blasted it. So
Holy
his honeymoon's
cow.
permanent.
Wow. That's crazy.
So he comes in, he's like, well, what should I do with this battery? I'm like, just leave it alone. I mean, but
Because he's got no use for it. Because that area of the brain is fried.
yeah.
Wow. I mean, could his tremor ever come back? Or?
Well, that's what I'm like. If it starts coming back, we'll turn the thing on.
Yeah, but
if it's, you don't need
the
to leave it
yeah.
off. Yeah.
Wow. It's crazy.
I know.
Wow.
And the batteries do deplete a little bit, even like if they're off.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
So it's like the battery's going down a little, but still got a lot of life left.
Wow.
I mean, I told him more likely that because it's like the first version of the programmer, like the newer programmers don't even connect to the old batteries. I'm like, it's more likely that our programmers will stop working and no one will be able to check this thing, and then you'll need to turn it on.
That's insane.
Yeah. So yeah, there are rare occasions where people are like, okay, it's pretty much gone, but
Yeah, that's
not commonly.
sure. So my amplitude is higher, but what's the other setting that you said is lower?
So it's pulse width. So
Pulse.
it's like it's a sine wave that kind of comes out, and you can set the frequency at which it fires and like the width of the waveform. Yeah.
Gotcha. So it's like you have more, man, what's a good analogy? Like, you have more like throttle, but like less fuel injection?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know. It's, I mean, the way I look at it, you got these like three parameters, right? So if you go down on one, the other ones can go higher. But there's been papers and things that come out, and I think you're a good example of it, where you know the traditional settings where I went up and you hit side effects, and I dropped that one down, and then put it up higher than you would have been able to get with that being high, you know. So it's less side effects if you put that lower.
Mm-hmm. So amplitude, pulse width, and what's the third setting?
Frequency. This hertz, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, yours is a low setting. Typically people are at 60, yours is at 20.
With the pulse width? Okay. What about the frequency? That's lower too, or?
No, that's normal. That's 174. Between 160 and 185 is about pretty common.
So that's kind of normal.
Yeah.
So frequency is normal, pulse width is lower,
Mm-hmm.
so that you can crank on the amplitude.
Yeah. You see a little bit, they call this kind of therapeutic window, so benefits to threshold of side effects, right? So if you put that lower, usually you get a wider window that you can work with before the side effects start interfering,
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I think it's worked really well for you. I've done it with
Yeah.
a few other people. So
few people that maybe need the fine motor as well, or it's just, they're just unique.
kind of do it because I can do it, honestly.
Yeah.
I could
'Cause
probably
it works.
without doing it, yeah.
It
But
works
if
good for them.
Right, if you
Yeah.
get lower threshold of side effects, that's a big thing. Because I got plenty of people where I'm like, I can keep cranking this thing up and I can knock your tremor out better, but you start getting the side effects and you don't want that.
Yeah. So with my pulse width being lower, do you know what the maximum amplitude is, or is that unique for everyone too?
I mean, there's like a true maximum of, calculate, like if you go higher than this, you can cause tissue damage. Now, usually that's really high.
Sure.
And if you put people up high enough, you're getting side effects. And like you, I could crank it up high enough, but you feel miserable.
Yeah,
I
sure.
mean, before you hit that maximum.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, there are like a true maximum on how you set these things. I know, like it won't let you go higher. It'll pop up with a warning and say, higher than this, you can cause damage. So it just stops you.
Got it. And there would be no way we can get close to that.
I mean, I've had some people that have had long-standing stimulation, that one of those where they kind of bump it up over time, and they have hit that mark where they're like, I can't go up any higher. You're at the true maximum.
What's the max for me though? Do you even know?
I don't know.
12, 13?
You could probably get higher than that.
Wow.
Yeah.
But again, side effects.
Right.
Essential.
It would be not fun for you.
Yeah.
You'd be and nauseous and
Yeah.
So I do. Rarely. I've got a couple people, and usually they've had it forever. They've always had high settings. They just got bumped up over time. For Parkinson's, I don't think I have anyone for tremor. Yeah, and dystonia. We see this dystonia. They need higher stimulation than other things too.
That's right. It was cool. I had breakfast with Kristen of Boston Scientific. I don't know if you know her, Kristen Avery. She's in charge of all the reps, I believe, or the patient ambassador program. But she was saying like this DBS for dystonia is like an off label, right?
Well, it's approved for dystonia. I mean, they have some things that are like exemptions where it's not quite the same, but yeah, we don't do as much.
And she also told me that, or I don't know if it was her, but it was one of the reps out in Phoenix, Lindsay. She said that the AI, where they have the algorithm now,
Yeah.
I forgot they had a name for it.
Yeah, no, they showed me. It's available like now, so I haven't had a new person, but when I get a new person, should be pretty soon, I'm going to use it. Yeah, something.
In television?
I forget what they call it now too, but yeah, something like that. Yeah, that was really cool.
But she said the rep said it was better for Parkinson's patients, more so than essential tremor for some reason. I forget what she said.
I don't know. I'll have to use it and see.
Yeah.
I mean, my impression was like they do these 3D models, and then you can say, all right, I want it into this area, right? And then avoid this area. So if it's just that, I would assume it's just as good for either one.
Yeah.
But maybe what they're talking about, like these other companies, that record the brain. You can pick out certain types of activity that correspond with Parkinson's, tremor, and things like that. So that's going to be the whole next step, is recording the brain, figuring out where it's coming from, doing the modeling, getting a feedback of the computer will read and say, this is where you want to stimulate. Yeah, and that is better for Parkinson's.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of good stuff coming.
Yeah. So would you ever, once you get used to that, would you ever use that for me, or maybe just enough to like see what it would say
Yeah.
and then compare?
Yeah, I mean that's what I think I will do when it comes on.
Okay.
Is just like with this. Like
Okay.
I've had people where, before the 3D modeling came in and their program was pretty good or not so good or whatever, and then I'm like, well, if they're good, usually I don't think about it, but if it's not great, I go, all right, let's get this imaging and see.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll keep their old program, I'll give them a new one based on the imaging. So I would think about it the same way as like, I'll look at it and be like, all right, well, let's just see what they say, and give you like another program that'll be that one and then the other one and see.
Say we were to try that other program, would it be weird for me because we've gotten so deep into where we are now? You know what I mean? It could, right?
I think it will. So
Yeah.
this is what I've been finding that I find interesting, and I think it's a function of how long people have had stimulation and like the same settings.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take people, and I've had many people where this is true, where I got the imaging and I looked at it and I go, well, this is not right. Like I would have never said it like this with the imaging.
Sure.
And give them another program that looks like it should be better with the imaging, and 99% of the time people go back to the original one. And I think it's because your brain gets used to it.
Yeah.
And I think you get outside of that kind of firing pattern, and people usually go, I just don't feel like it works as good. I don't feel as good. It's not like I had this side effect. It's more like I just don't think it's as good.
Yeah.
So I think your brain gets
gets
used to it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think probably yes. I think probably what would happen is if you had someone who's had stimulation for a while and you switch them to a better thing by calculation, they might still do that. They might go, I don't think it's as good.
Wouldn't you almost have to start them like low and work them up again, even if it was a new thing?
Yeah,
Potentially.
probably.
Yeah.
I mean, what should happen, this is the other thing that I'm going to find interesting, is say you get someone who's got a good program, right? And you go, all right, this looks good. And then you plug it into that thing and figure out what they would recommend. I would think they should be close, right?
Yeah.
What would be interesting is if it's completely different and I go, oh, geez, I don't know if this is any better. I think if you get good programming, what they come up with won't be the same, but it'll be pretty close.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's remarkable.
Which was kind of surprising to me, because honestly, I thought once all this imaging comes out, I'm like, all right, I'm going to switch it. People will feel much better. They'll be like, oh yeah, this is great. But
Yeah.
not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's probably one of those where if you would have done it from the beginning,
Yes.
they would have had a better outcome. But now they're left with this chronic stimulation, and it's hard to get out of it.
Yeah. I gotcha. And you could still, even if the algorithm says it's like good, you can still have the same side effects.
Yeah. I mean, again, in theory, they're going to base it more on this imaging of saying, all right, we're going to put it right in this area, trying to avoid the side effects. But you can tweak it, just like these. You can say, all right, I want to go up, and maybe sacrifice a little bit with side effects.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So actually, the next person I implant, I think I should be able to use that. Which I think will be interesting to see.
Very cool.
Yeah, they showed us. It looks pretty nice.
Oh, you got it on there now?
No, they did like a dinner thing and they showed it to us. But they said they should be able to update all of the existing programmers, so.
Wow.
Yeah. You got another appointment set up?
Yeah, July.
Yeah, 21st.
Cool.
Yeah.
Should we schedule another one or no?
Yeah,
Or
I want to
keep
make
bumping
one
it out,
about.
or-
Probably do about every 3 months. Yeah, I mean, I'm
For now.
booking out till November, December. So yeah, make one after that.
I mean, sounds like it's just gonna be bumping it up, right?
Yeah, I think we're kind of. I mean, I could always keep playing around with it, but I think there's going to be not a whole lot of variance now.
It might get to a point too where I'm like, hey, I'm pretty good. I mean, I feel like I'm 95, maybe 98% there.
Yeah.
So it's like, how much more could we do?
Well, I know, and that's what I'm
Right.
saying. Like, I'm always like, wow, I could get rid of all of it, but I'm like, I think you just at some point you go, all right, this is about as good as you're gonna get.
Yeah.
But it changes over time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
At that point too, you'd want to see me every year then? Or every 6
I mean,
months?
yeah, I
or?
have some people, if you're good, you just, I'll see once a year, just kind of check the battery, make sure it's good, and,
And we don't even do any more bump ups because it's like,
yeah.
are there people that just stay without getting bumped up for a decade even?
Yeah, I mean, I get a lot of people where it's like, all right, this is good, and you kind of, it works, you leave it alone, right?
Sure.
Mhm.
So in other words, our appointments are going to get a little more boring.
Yeah. And it's spaced out further.
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Understood.
As much as I enjoy them,
Yeah, no. Hey, I get it. Cool.
Yeah. Good.
Doing good, man.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Enjoy the spring and the summer.
You too, Doc. Yeah, we'll see when it's like probably 100 degrees out. Right?
Oh, I'll take it. It's that time of year where I'm like, I want it to be warmer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kids on spring break, it's like 40 and cold. I'm like,
Oh, man.
This is a fun spring break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting there though.
Yeah.
Alright, have a good one.
All right, you too, Doc.